This is the Cumberland Basin in Bristol, and here we can see the lock gates of the city docks. The basin is named after the large expanse of water which links the inner and the outer lock gates. At each end there are bridges that swing to allow vessels through. The surrounding area is heavily trafficked. A series of flyovers, convoluted road system that is really quite hostile. But just on the far side of the outer lock is the spectacular Avon Gorge. But after these spectacular routes, the Cumberland Basin area then disappoints. This is the city's premier entrance by both sea and road. Yet, let's be honest, it's all a bit grim. So what simple things can be done to improve it? Let's make a start. What we need is a feature that can be the point of focus to instantly make this area interesting in its own right, defining it as the entrance to a great city. We need our own Statue of Liberty. We want something that reflects Bristol as an inland port. Now, one of the most interesting things about this area is that it marks the end of the floating harbour. The constant water level of the harbour meets the tidal gorge area, where the River Avon flows, with an awesome tidal span, the second highest in the world. So how can we combine these two features? Well, why not do something that has a connection with the fearsome power of the tide? Let's see if we can extract some energy from the rise and fall. Wouldn't it be great if we could exploit it? Not with turbines and advanced technology, but by means of something that is more direct and physical. Something where we can actually see the workings as it gets driven by tidal movement. It's unlikely to be anything commercially viable, but anyway, we're not looking at commercial viability. We've set our sights higher. We're now looking at our own Angel of the North, Bristol's own monument. So can we have an edifice that legitimately uses power? Well, what about a clock? A tidal powered clock. It could be constructed as a tower, visible from some distance, and so a proper landmark. How could such a clock work? Let's envisage a giant floating vessel, afloat, fixed to the shore by a long pole and connecting levers. If the float is large enough, then its travel on the rising tide should be sufficient to swing a large lever. The rising tide will provide a source of energy. However, it is unlikely that it could drive the clock directly, since the tide rises and falls at different times of the day, and the power of the rise and fall varies. So the mechanism would have to be indirect. The tidal power could use a ratchet mechanism to haul weights up a tower, and they could then drive the clock, regulated by a giant pendulum. It will be a self-winding clock, a perpetual motion machine. So as long as the moon orbits and pulls the tides, this clock will keep ticking. But where to put the clock? This looks like a good place. It's close to the lock basin, but well clear of boat manoeuvres. It's got a vertical drop to the water, and the float and driving mechanism can take full advantage of the maximum potential rise and fall of the tide of 15 metres, or 49 feet in old money. Look, this site can be seen from the Clifton Suspension Bridge, which is one of the reasons why it is important that the Cumberland Basin is improved. Would this plan attract visitors? Would it kickstart the regeneration of the area, make people care about it, and then lead on to other improvements? Would it be a new landmark, a new gateway to the city? What do you think?